All right, this is documentation of the engineered light that fills my apartment. This is speaking to the criminal presence of what is relevant positioning is how it's referred to, surrounding with engineered light, that which is not sunlight, maliciously, deceptively appearing. But not even realistically. This is the evidence that I provide for you so that you can witness what is clearly not sunlight over anything. Okay? So if you're confused, they're still not sure whether that's sunlight, that's not sunlight. And neither is this. That has nothing to do with the so-called the light source that's outside of my living room window, and that which is shot horizontally through closed blinds at a downward trajectory on the floor, magnified in size. This which is on my bedroom wall. And the bedroom window has nothing to do with the placement of the fake sun. The fake sun moves over me. So right now, while it's outside of my living room window, while you can see it through the windows of these vehicles, the fake sun moves to be in alignment, and that's why it will be over the leasing office when I'm documenting people, the third parties such as Carla Lopez and the demon possessed who maintain relevant positioning, group stalking in the workplace. Okay, and that's all in a specific environment, and that's exactly what Access was doing. While engineered light, as you will see as you're paying attention even to the video, this is the environment where you're coming and picking up a third party where you are nothing other than a group stalker, and that's also showing what is your condition. It is showing what is public corruption that is associated with Karen Bass's office, Access, okay? And they're fully documented, engaged in the P.O.C. In the middle of the afternoon where the fake sun, which is a light source speaking to what is demon possession and a corrupt system that LA County, the city of LA, the city of dark angels are engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. So I want to make sure that you're aware of that. And they were monitoring what I was uploading onto the internet as I'm publishing my documentation of Access. Access represents the state of California. So does the entity that's group stalking with every other third party. It's state action. Everybody that lives here, they're acting on behalf of the state. That's why the state is concentrating helicopter activity in this environment. This is the engineer light you see inside of my office. While a demon comes and asks me about their apartment or a work order or asking me some questions, okay? That's the P.O.C. This is going to be prosecuted with regard to every ability that you can recover. The people of the state are group stalking where you see flashing of engineered light. That's a prosecution of Access. They're nothing but demons riding in a vehicle with a logo. It's not different from Amazon, FedEx, UPS. The fake sun remains over me while I am at this property all day long, and this is occurring in the evening where I'm showing you my shadow that's appearing, multiple panels, which you can still see here. This is exactly what's occurring in the evening, and as I mentioned the names of people, the demon possessed who are going to federal prison, such as the employees of speaker companies, this is already on the record where you witnessed flashing of light. This is the evidence of ongoing corporate invasion of privacy by a demon-possessed entity that is stalking and terrorizing in helicopters with the entire population, including what is relevant to also RICO charges, the use of commercial actors, so-called businesses. These are corrupt businesses that are engaged in the malicious and criminal misuse of their businesses for purposes of criminal surveillance in the United States. And that's what I'm documenting. And it's also going to be prosecuted because it's a sex offense, a stalker that's keeping you under surveillance inside of your private space, a stalker that's touching you. You're touching with engineered light. This isn't even naturally occurring. It has nothing to do with the light source and the engineered light that's on that floor out there. Okay, so the question is, not only is that the P.O.C., pray tell, what is this? This is the environment where demons such as Access, which is associated again with a demon-possessed corrupt government actor, Karen Bass, and her office associated with Access. I'm letting you know, not only is this the reality of the criminal system, I have a population engaging in a pattern of conduct, the specific environment in an entirely different location where I've now relocated to Los Angeles. Karen Bass and businesses such as Access, which are associated with her office, I do not have to capture Karen Bass crossing path in relevant position in my face in order to let you know what her condition is and her criminal conduct. She's a corrupt actor and she is to be removed, plucked out. Federal group stalking and monitoring is occurring on her watch, and she knows every time that I mention her name. Her and Dominic Choi and Robert Luna, demon-possessed corrupt government actors to be plucked out of their position, acting with a population that's engaged in the P.O.C. This has nothing to do with sunlight. Okay, the entity is maintaining a light source outside of my living room window, and this engineer light is the direct evidence of criminal surveillance in the United States. It's not a free state, and I'm also subject to this in the workplace, where this is not even sunlight. The entity is maintaining an engineered environment. This is entirely distinct from what you just saw on my bedroom wall. This is the environment where the entity is maintaining engineered light throughout my apartment, by the way, and you'll see, like you see on an ongoing basis, an entirely different pattern of engineered light. All right, equally not sunlight. This is maintenance of engineered light throughout the entire apartment, okay? There is no sunlight that will ever do this, and it has nothing to do with the fake sun. This is elements of monitoring. These are the circumstances where Access, LA County, with knowledge of what I'm doing online, everything that I've said as I'm documenting it, knowing that I've documented them before, fully aware of who I am, contrary to what they look like. They don't, but I want to be clear, they don't look like a business that's picking up an old biddy. That is a demon on a walker crossing path, monitoring an American citizen with real-time knowledge. The impossible light is remaining inside of my private space. The demons are stalking in helicopter, all the same, while access is coming onto the grounds and wanting to maintain an out. This is the high-level deception of Satan, the malice of the government that's group stalking, maintaining an outward veneer of appearance of doing good, operating a business, picking up the elderly with regard to your administration of services for the public. This is LA County, a demon-possessed and corrupt government that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, where I am surrounded by engineered light, which is documentation of terrorism via directed light, in an impossible manner, having nothing to do with the placement of the fake sun. That's not sunlight. That's not sunlight. Neither is this. It's maintained inside of all of my bedrooms. And then you see the demons that know that I'm documenting them on camera help outside of their car and help the old third party on a walker get in their vehicle. And what you've also seen is that same state actor, Access, arrive at 2 o'clock, as I've stated, in the afternoon, and that same fake sun that's outside of my window now, which is a distinct method of engineer light inside of my apartment, which, by the way, Speaker Companies is going to federal prison. Everybody at Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison. I'm showing you the ongoing consistency. You need to, in your mind, remove every distinction you've made in your mind regarding the difference between a demon and a lift vehicle. And a vehicle with lift. There's no difference. I've shown you the demonic light activity while they drive onto the property. I've shown you the demonic light activity across the DMV and across the Social Security office, which is all over my person, while they're just driving on the street. And that which is not possibly the sun, then all of a sudden over the Social Security building at Columbia and 8th in Los Angeles. When it's remaining over me on the same day in 2022, even down to the same time in an entirely different region. And when I'm keeping my person at this property all day long, there's no sun that's ever removing from being over the top of my head all day long. All of that evidence surrounds, and that's how you know what Access is engaging in. Even if I muted myself and I did not narrate what demon-possessed individuals are doing collectively as a public entity that's acting through the population, absence, the evidence speaks for itself. That's how you know what's driving an Access vehicle, what represents a means of civil recovery for commercial criminal activity, which is sexually violent. Sexually violent. You want to group stalk and monitor and surveil and molest in a private space. You want to be prosecuted as the violent and demented, demon-possessed entity that is a sex offender. That's what Access represents. It's not different from Amazon Prime at 5 o'clock in the evening and the fake sun is still over this property. All right. It's not different from UPS at 11 o'clock in the morning and the fake sun is still over this property. It's not different. It's the same P.O.C. It's the ongoing multiplicity of faces, the maintenance of the elements of monitoring in the specific environment. And this is the prosecution of the state of California, who is acting in concert with the population. The population will extend its business. It will extend its real property. And as you extend anything to the state, you've extended yourself and you're going to federal prison based on the facts and circumstances. Living at a crime scene, working at the crime scene to target the target individual, that equals federal prison. And the more that you pose that threat, which by virtue of this impossible light activity is the evidence, the fact that you're demons and that you're engaging in that criminal system in conformity to a pattern of conduct that precedes my relocation to Los Angeles. Do you understand that? Years of evidence. Not only is this not sunlight, there's never, ever any reconciliation with the light source being at Alvarado Gardens at any time of day for the state of California to suggest that they're not demon possessed and that they're not engaged in the system, exactly what it is that I contend. All right, it is currently, again, 8:31 a.m. Let me show you the light source while you see all this engineered light in my apartment appearing and disappearing. This is supposed to be the demonic illusion of sunlight. And then you have terrorism while you're faced with the P.O.C. in the workplace. And that's why Speaker Companies' employees are going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. It is currently 8:32 a.m.